Hello everyone. So I wanted to make this video for a long time, and in fact I tried twice. So basically I wanted to make a video for a long time on this topic of failed Jira implementations. And when I say fail is of course a bit a negative word. Uh, but I just want to share my experience because as a consultant, I have been working with clients. I have been working for companies where we are we were hired to do some implementation, but the outcome was not really as expected for various reasons. It could be I'm not really trying to blame the client or not really trying to put the blame on me, but it is all about experience, right? And initially, I made one video talking about, I think, 10 points. Then I thought it is probably a bit too long, but I was still not able to cover each and every point with enough context. Then I made part one and part two. That also was not really great. So I thought, okay, let us do one thing. Let us just make a series of videos where I will talk about these experiences. And I don't really think on my channel I have this playlist called like failed Jira implementations or something to do with failure, things that didn't really uh, go as we wanted it to go. And people don't really always talk about, or they don't really always want to share and elaborate on such failures. And I thought, okay, let me do that. I think I've been doing it, but not really properly, like in a separate playlist. So in this video, I want to focus on rude customers, rude clients, and if I look at my experience, like doing Jira consultation, or in fact doing anything, like when it comes to career or dealing with other people, I have encountered, of course, uh, not really a lot, but more than a couple of times, I have encountered people or clients where I ended the engagement only because of one specific person. And it has happened, as I mentioned, more than a couple of times. Not really a lot, but yeah, if you have been working for 20 plus years, I'm sure it will also happen with you. Now, in this in this video, I want to talk about one situation where I was working with a person. I'll not really mention the gender and also the client name, of course, but I was working with this person for rolling out Jira Cloud. I can talk about Jira Cloud. And when we were working on this Jira Cloud implementation, of course, we had this goal in mind that we have to, move these n number of teams to Jira, and we, of course, had a plan. We had a series of workshops planned, but the first thing that we do normally, anyways, when we do like a big Jira rollout, we don't really go roll out Jira for each and every one in the organization in one go. We do it, of course, step by step, so that you learn about. You have opportunity to learn and improve, and of course you always should do it in a phased manner. So we did this rollout of Jira or we wanted to do this rollout of Jira for the first team, right? And we spent like a couple of weeks, not really a lot. And being a Jira consultant, it was a decent size project for us. Now we Jira consultants, we earn money by providing consultation, and we normally bill our clients based on number of hours we spend working with them or for them. Now the thing is that when you know that you have in front of you hundreds of days of work, then of course you're tempted, and of course you want to make sure that you deliver it properly, not only because it's like something that you want to do, but also for your business. End of the day, of course, you have to earn money, you have to pay your salaries. So it was like a decent size project. Now what happened when we were working with team one, and by the way, all of these teams had, like, of course, individual stakeholders, but there was one person who was, I guess, in a way, I forgot the role, but I believe that person role was CTO or something important, right? Now, what happened when we did the rollout for team one, or when we were about to do the rollout, like when we were about to go live, that person, let us call that person CTO, was definitely rude, shouting at the same time misbehaving and I should say using bad language. And that was not really the first time that happened. I mean, when we started the engagement, of course, in the beginning, and I was not really I mean, that was not the very first time I was engaging with that CTO. I had already met that person, I think, more than 5 times. And early on, I did notice, or I felt that maybe that person is not behaving appropriately, but it was not really too bad in the beginning. So I thought, okay, let us, just continue. And uh, if you're doing consultation or if you're doing any work, I think you should not allow anyone, your manager, your client, to, or maybe your colleague, to misbehave, to shout at you, right? That is, of course, very obvious, irrespective of the reason. I mean, maybe you have done a mistake, but still, no one has the authority, or, I mean, there's nothing about authority here, but no one should misbehave or shout or be rude to you in any case. So, in this particular example, what happened was we were actually doing this implementation of, if you remember, team managed projects came out, like, it has been a while, and from day one we recommended don't use team managed projects for your use case. And when we of course were doing the evaluation, they still, like, I think one of the team, or team one in this case, I'm trying not to use specific names, I'm trying really hard, but team one tried both team managed projects and company managed projects, right? Now what happened was, there are some elements in team managed projects that they love, like, you can customize things. So I told them, don't use it, but still, okay, if you want to give it a try, give it a try. And when we were about to go live, so my recommendation was that you should not be using team managed projects. Now for team ones, when they were like about to go live, or when they were about to do this or complete this POC, I think, let us call it as a POC, they somehow decided, okay, we want team managed projects because we want our own workflow. And I thought, okay, fine, let us do that. Let us go with team managed projects, although it is not really my recommendation, but my job as a Jira consultant is to make you aware. So they started using team managed projects, and after like 2 or 3 weeks, they realized that no, it is wrong. It is not going to work us, because ultimately we are also going to engage with other teams. And at that point of time, what happened? The CTO was when that person realized that yes, we have to now revert back and go back to company managed projects, or basically just not use team managed projects. Then that person was really upset. So that was a trigger. And again, it was, anyways, they went against my recommendation, but they also, I mean, in this case, CTO started shouting and started using bad words. And at that point of time, I thought, okay, it is too much. I don't really want to work with you. Of course, it was my loss, because at the end of the day, I lost. I mean, of course, they eventually paid me for those few weeks of work, but they didn't really pay me for those. I mean, those other hundreds of days of worth of work. I mean, I could have just continued, but that is not really something how I work. I don't really expect. I mean, also you should I think work like this. You should not allow anyone to misbehave, shout, and be rude to you. That should be like your I mean, you should be very clear about it. Now, talking about the learnings. Now, in this case, I think I could have done a slightly better job. Maybe I could have ended this engagement early on, when that CTO, when I realized is not really behaving properly. Number one. Number two, I think I could have been more clear about my recommendations. I could have been more firm. And as a Jira consultant, sometimes, or I think in general, but especially when you're a Jira consultant, if you're a Jira consultant, when you're like telling people or suggesting people, advising people what to do based on your own experience, sometimes you need to be, I mean, of course, you need to be firm, but also you need to come up with or maybe share those examples. So yes, definitely I could have done a better job, and in this case I failed, and of course eventually it was my loss. And I'm just sharing it with you because I'm sure if you are moving from Jira admin to Jira consultant role, then you will be working with a lot of people, like senior people, people who are powerful in their organization, they are going to decide whether you should continue or not. So irrespective of that, I think you should be confident about yourself. You should be confident about your knowledge and your experience. Of course, it will take some time, but in this particular example, in this particular video, of course, I want to focus on this aspect where you will, or you would, I hope not, but if you ever encounter someone who's being rude to you, then you should be very clear. I mean, of course, don't really wait for things to go too bad in this case. I mean, I could have, like, when that CTO was a bit rude, then I should have told that person early on that, your behavior is probably not really something that I am expecting. Could you please, be nice? Because if there is a problem, we can talk about it. We can solve it, like, by discussion. You don't really have to create this unnecessary tension. And of course, these days we all work remotely. Even in this case, I was working remotely, but I think that is where, I mean, of course, you can do all the work remotely. I mean, but sometimes when you are, like, in the same room, things are a bit different because you can see the body language, you can feel how the other person is responding to your, questions, and when you talk to them in real, things are definitely different. Because when you're on Zoom or when you're on Teams or Google Meet, you're just in front of your camera. You're probably not dressed up properly, and even though you are dressed up properly, maybe it's your mic who, I mean, because if you're talking to someone, you're limited by what your camera and your mic is transmitting to the other side. But that doesn't really happen in reality. Okay, I think this video is now getting a bit longer, and as I promised, I will definitely be making more videos, like series of videos, hopefully, where I will be sharing failures. So I hope you found this video useful and you learned something new today. Thank you very much. Bye bye.